Hey guys, Super Rugby Pacific is coming up this weekend, round 5. The team sheets are out. I've poured over them to find the players who I think will be the best picks for Fantasy Super Rugby this round. I'll share them with you, but before that, let's jump in and have a look at the fixtures. Remember guys, I say this every week, but it's super important. Every week we want to look at the fixtures and identify the ones where the points and the tries are going to be scored. We want to pull our players from the teams that are going to be doing the scoring. That is the key to fantasy. First up for this round on the Friday night, we have the Canes versus the Force at home, albeit it is in Napier. At the moment, conditions look like it will probably be pretty good for that game. And I'm a really big fan of Canes in fantasy. The way they play, the way they move the ball, they are good for points. They've been good in the first few rounds. This game looks like they are actually resting a few guys. There's no Lakai, no Billy Proctor, who's pretty huge for us. They've sort of benched their front row as well, but they've put their main guys on the bench if they need them. They've also got a few players coming back for their first matches as well. Ruben Love's on the bench, Riley Higgins on the bench, Tyrell Lomax on the bench. So yeah, Kane's getting even stronger as the season goes on, and yeah, I think they really potentially they could put the Western Force to the sword here. Having these changes to their lineup, look, I mean, if they sort of stumble a bit, at least they'll be able to bring guys off the bench and bring it home if they have to. But no, in general, I'm feeling like, yeah, the Hurricanes, they kind of just outclass the Force a bit. They have so much firepower, and yeah, really looking forward to investing in Canes this weekend. Then the next day, Saturday afternoon, it is the Drua versus the Brumbies. This is in Fiji, in Ba. And look, in Fiji, you never know what's going to happen, right? The Drua, they're so unpredictable at the best of times, but we know how strong they can be at home. They can beat anyone at home. Conditions for this game, there's a chance of a bit of moisture, but I mean, it's not going to be the shocker like it was against the Canes in Lautoka. I do envision the Brumbies sort of getting up and taking this game. I think they can lean on their forward pack if they need to bring it home, but are they going to be able to pile on the points while they do it? I'm not so sure about that. Very unpredictable matchup, but as long as the weather's good, I do like the idea of drawing fantasy picks from this game. Then on the Saturday night, we have the Crusaders versus the Highlanders, a run back of the arm wrestle that we had in round 1 where the Highlanders kind of edged it. This time though, it is in Christchurch. It will be a home game for the Crusaders, and yeah, hard to know what to make of this one, man. I expect it to be another battle. The Crusaders, they've been very inconsistent. Got hammered by the Brumbies. Thought they were back against the Chiefs, but then against the Blues last week, they just looked abysmal, to be honest. Defensively, they were kind of shocking, and yeah, like I expect them to turn it around at some point this season. I expect things to sort of click, and then they'll be dangerous and they'll be putting points on people. But I mean, is it going to happen this week against the Highlanders? I don't know, and until I sort of see some signs of that, I'm kind of hesitant to invest that deeply in them anymore. So yeah, this matchup in particular, yeah, kind of steering clear of this one for the most part. I think this could just, yeah, end up being a bit of an arm wrestle. And then on the Saturday night, big Australian derby, Reds versus the Waratahs. This is another round 1 run back. The Waratahs, they actually put a score on the Reds in Sydney, but this time it's going to be in Suncorp, home game for the Reds. And since that match, I mean, the Reds have had a lot of reinforcements come back in, guys like Harry Wilson, and I don't think it's going to be the same game this time around, man. Like, yeah, I feel like the Reds will be able to handle the Tars, and I think they might be able to do it in style as well, to be honest. They're looking kind of dangerous, and Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. I'm interested to know what other people's opinions are on this game, but yeah, I like the idea of investing in it. Either way, conditions look good, and yeah, definitely liking this matchup. And then finally, this one is on the Sunday afternoon, Blues versus Moana. And man, Moana, they've been quite disappointing so far this year. I am a bit scared for them. Their defense is looking pretty poor, and they're coming up against the Blues team, which is been quite strong, although they're not necessarily running over people, scoring try fiestas. So yeah, do like the idea of picking Blues this week, but maybe not getting expectations too high. I mean, I've been critical of the Blues, especially last year. The way they play, it sort of didn't translate to a lot of scoring with the backs. This year they do have more of an attack focus, so we'll see. But yeah, do like the idea of picking Blues a lot this week. Now jumping into the players, starting off with our big weapons, the outside backs. Always a lot of options here. I've gone with Finianganofo, Corey Toole, and Cody Vai, but don't have super strong feelings about outside backs this week, as in there's none that I think really are standing head and shoulders above the rest for me. Like last week, the Chiefs winger, sorry, I forget his name, Leroy Carter, he was a real obvious standout for me, and he delivered. But this week, instead, I got a lot of guys which I think are good options, but yeah, I'm not sure which way to sort of zig and zag. But obviously, if we look at the list, Jorgensen, he's got the highest average at the moment, and yeah, man, like you can't go wrong with Jorgensen. He hasn't failed to deliver so far, and yeah, like this game against the Reds, he could get opportunities as well, especially if you fancy the Tars chances. I don't so much, which is why I've steered away with him. I'm not sure how many opportunities he's going to get, but I suspect some people might feel differently about this matchup, and in which case Jorgensen makes a lot more sense. And I mean, either way, you can't go wrong with him, right? So yeah, if you've got the cash, picking him up. If you're not sure what else to do, yeah, just go with Jorgensen, man. Finianganofo, like I said at the start, liking that Cairns matchup against the Force. I like Finianganofo a lot. Was a little bit disappointed he didn't get more last week, but sort of kind of just felt that it was just a bit unlucky that he wasn't on the end of one of the many tries that was scored. But yeah, Finianganofo definitely a very solid pick, one I would rate a lot this week. Will Jordan is back this week against the Highlanders, and again a guy that is pretty solid. I said I didn't like this Highlanders versus Crusaders matchup. I'm worried it could be an arm wrestle like it was in round one. If you feel differently, if you feel like the Crusaders are going to go good, I mean, it makes sense to pick him up. And honestly, either way, you know, he's so solid anyway, even in a tough matchup, right? Like he's not going to get a bad score. Like 42 is his worst score. So, and he's had a rest as well. So yeah, definitely do not hate the Will Jordan pick. With the Tangata pick, I mean, like I said, I'm kind of staying away from that matchup. I don't know if there's going to be huge amounts of opportunities for the Highlanders. I mean, look, there might be, right? I mean, the Crusaders' edge defense was really bad against the Blues last week, and they still have some kind of injury problems out in their back, some personnel problems. Like they've still got Dallas McLeod, who's going to be coming off the bench to play wing or something. So yeah, I don't know. Things could still be kind of dodgy out on the edges for the Crusaders. I mean, I got to imagine that that's going to be the big thing that we're working on this week, sorting that out. So yeah, I'm not going to lean too heavily into that by picking up someone like Tangata. And we can see like Tangata has been off on, right? Like he didn't get much going in that first Crusaders matchup. So it's just yeah, it's not a matchup where you can be sure he's definitely going to be getting a lot of opportunities. That's why I'm steering clear of him. And Callan Harkin, look, he's playing at 10 now, so unfortunately, yeah, he's probably going to go well this game. It's against the Force, but we've probably got better options to go with in the back three. Now, Tim Ryan. Yeah, I do like the Reds. I do like the Reds this week against the Waratahs. Tim Ryan's good. I probably prefer to go with Dalgunu. Dalgunu is back now, but yeah, wouldn't hate a Tim Ryan this week. And if you do feel like the Reds are going to put a score on against the Tars, it kind of makes sense. We have Lagana Marcy back as well. I'm a big fan of Lagana Marcy. I mean, he got 79 round one, even though he never scored a try, which is just, and he was actually very good that game. If you watched it and saw his touches, like he was looking dangerous, but you know, doing good distribution work as well. But yeah, I mean, again, I'm not sure what sort of opportunities he's going to get against the Brumbies. I feel like the best case scenario for this game for the draw is that it just kind of becomes a bit messy, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be lots of points being scored. So I don't know, kind of depends on what you feel about that matchup. Like yeah, that draw always so unpredictable for me, even when they're at home, when they're strong. So yeah, makes me kind of scared to take a punt on Lagana Marcy with one of my valuable outside back slots. Radamai Tavuki Neekins, like I was saying with Tangi Tau earlier, don't like the matchup. He is more of a consistent option, no. Then we've got Muirhead and Corey Toole, and yeah, I mean, I feel like these guys are always going to have a good chance of having a decent outing. Even though, yeah, I called that draw Brumbies match unpredictable. I do feel like the Brumbies are going to win it and potentially could go on to put on a big score as well. Not guaranteed, but I think there's a chance of it. So at the moment, that's why I have Corey Toole selected. But he is probably my softest pick out of all of the back three, my least confident. It is something I could end up changing, right? I could end up switching into Will Jordan or something like that. Then we've got Dalgunu. Like I said earlier, I do like Dalgunu a lot. Did pretty well last week against the Brumbies. Got a try. It looked pretty good doing it. So yeah, if you like the Reds this week, he's probably my outside backs pick. Campbell not too far behind. Nareki, I mean, see what I said earlier about Highlanders in this matchup. I do worry if they're gonna get, you know, that many opportunities compared to our other good options in the outside backs this week. And otherwise, I mean, we're sort of getting to the bottom of the pile here where you really sort of want to steer clear. Veli, Tavita Offa, yeah, I'm going cold on Moana, man. I've really gone cold on Moana. Crazy to see Sever Reese all the way down here, but I mean, it just kind of goes to show, right? He was so good last year, but man, like, things are kind of off at the Crusaders this year. Yeah, I talked about Glenn Vahu before. He impressed me last week, but yeah, like, could just be a one-off, right? Like, I don't see Moana bouncing back this round. I mean, I hope it happens, but I don't see it. Now onto the midfield, and some interesting things to discuss in the midfield this week. I mean, as usual, like, these Hurricanes are so important. At the moment, Johnny Robert has the average because he came off the bench against the Tars and got 58 points, which was crazy. But he is starting this week. He is starting at 13, and I want to pick him, but the problem is Riley Higgins is on the bench, so he is going to come on at some point. And I mean, Riley Higgins, he's a 13, so yeah, he is probably going to replace Johnny Rover. feel like Johnny Roberts still going to do pretty well, even if he only gets like 60 minutes or something, because like I talked about it in the last best picks video. I talked about it last week. Johnny Roberts really good, man. He's really dangerous ball in hand. So yeah, still wouldn't be too surprised if he goes gangbusters. And I mean, he's cheap, right? Even after going up $500,000, he's only 4 mil. He's still a pretty good value option this week, I think. I mean, he's even cheaper than quite a bit cheaper than Balin. So if you need to be saving cash for some reason or other, I think this is a way you could do it. The only thing that's going to hold him back this week is yeah, being subbed off for Riley Higgins at some point. But yeah, definitely very good value pick. I mean, Jordy Barrett, he remains a strong pick as well, right? He's been kind of pretty consistent. Very expensive though. I've gone for Balin, Sullivan, and Pritchard. Talked about Balin a lot already in my videos. He's in the midfield, but he often plays out on the wing like he is doing this week. And yeah, that's what gives him potential to get those really big scores when he runs in a bunch of tries. And he's still pretty cheap as well, 5.8 million. So yeah, I like the Balin pick a lot. I do expect the Canes to get tries, quite a few tries against the Force this week. So yeah, that kind of puts him above Barrett for me, because you look at Barrett's like 43, 56, very good scores, but Balin, he got 69 last week, but yeah, he's got real potential to go into that sort of 60 to 100 zone. Like he could get 3 tries in a game, which probably isn't going to happen for Barrett. But Barrett, I think he would be better in those tougher matches, right? Like where, you know, they're not just getting the ball wide and running in try after try after try. When they're up against tougher defenses, that's when I think an option like Barrett could be a good pick from the Hurricanes. Samu Wondro, I mean, yeah, he's been he's been super solid this year, right? So again, it comes back to how do you feel about draw versus Brumbies in Fiji? Yeah, like it just feels like it's always a bit of a lottery to me, right? But that makes me kind of steer clear of him. But hey, like if you feel good about the draw, he's definitely a good pick, not expensive at all. Tavatava Nawai got 44 points last week. Seems like he might be back to the form he had last year, where he was in that sort of 40 to 45 zone very consistently. One thing that works in Tavatava Nawai's favor this week is that Jonah Lowe got injured, so Tanielu Talia is starting this week, and the Highlanders are just doing a 6-2 bench. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Tavatava Nawai is just going to play the full 80 this week, which he hasn't done since round 1, basically. So yeah, that's definitely going to be something that helps him lift him up from the sort of 35 zone into the 45 zone. So he remains a solid pick. Pritchard I've gone with just because, like I said, I do think the Brumbies have potential to put real points on the drawer, or at least if it's dry, for it to be, you know, kind of like a sort of crazy game with lots of running and attacking. So that's why I've gone with Pritchard this week. Not sure how it's going to go, to be honest, because yeah, I don't know a lot about Pritchard, and he didn't get a lot of points last week, albeit it was quite wet in that game. But yeah, he's one of those guys. He's kind of long and lanky and fast, and I feel like a draw matchup is one that would actually suit him. And there are still a few other picks to be aware of down this list. I do actually like the idea of AJ Lamb this week against Moana Pacifica. Yeah, just because Moana, their defense is so poor, but yeah, they also kind of get caught in that sort of midfield to edge defensive zone as well. And I think a guy like AJ Lamb, he could potentially really shine this week. Bailey Kunzel, he's a midfielder that will be starting out on the wing. One to be aware of, not necessarily one that I would recommend. And Georgie Nasilva, again, another midfielder that is going to be starting out on the wing. So yeah, if you like that Drua Brumbies matchup, he's a guy that could sort of do well in the slot. Beyond that, though, not really feeling much else in the midfield, except to note that Tilia, he's going to be getting a proper start for the first time. Now moving on to the 10s, and I mean the big one here, it's got to be Beauden Barrett. Feel really good about this pick, going up against Moana, that soft defense. Yeah, you just know tries are probably going to be scored, and Beauden's probably going to have something to do with a lot of him. So yeah, this is just a super solid pick, I think, and not a lot else going on in this kind of fly half zone, to be honest. Probably next cabs off the rank for me are Reihana, Gordon and Donaldson. I mean, Reihana, he did quite well last week against the Blues in a pretty tough game, and I had him round 1 against the Highlanders and he got bugger all. So I mean, it's the same matchup this week, so yeah, it's kind of hard one to bank on. But in general, I do like Reihana. He's the same price as Beauden though, so I definitely would I don't see any reason to go for him instead of Beauden. And Carter Gordon, I mean, he was going kind of crazy in that Brumbies game, man. Like, I wasn't impressed with him in that Highlanders game, but in this Brumbies game, he kind of went off. So, yeah, I mean, not a big sample size here to work with, but I mean, yeah, he was carrying the ball in that game and looking dangerous. And coming up against the Waratahs, I mean, he could do the same thing again, right? So, do not like the Carter Gordon pick. Beyond that, man, you got Ben Donaldson. He is super solid, but it's 7 mil. Yeah, kind of feel like you either go on Barrett if you got the cash, or if you want to save the cash, maybe you go Carter Gordon instead, and that's your options. Now looking at the halfbacks, and man, I've been picking Roygaard every week, but yeah, he hasn't turned it on at any point. I'm waiting to see the fantasy form like we saw last year, where he was pretty much the only game in town in the slot. Kind of gone cold on him a little bit, to be honest. I mean, his price is coming down a lot, but could probably fall a bit more at this rate. So, you know, might look at these other options. I mean, Hotham, he's a mil cheaper. He did pretty good against the Highlanders in round 1. Been pretty good in general. Might go well again at home in Christchurch. But then there's also Wedgson. I mean, this guy, I don't know a lot about him, but yeah, he had this huge game against the Brumbies, right? Though there's some weird stuff going on in that game. I mean, him and Kalani Thomas were both on the field at the same time for quite a while there. So it doesn't really matter though. Like, yeah, again, I kind of like the Reds against the Waratahs this week, so he could be a good pick as well, and he's like super cheap, right? I mean, Roygaard, Hotham, both kind of expensive, but Bertrand, super cheap at 3.7 mil. Now into the back row, where we always have a lot of options, lots to talk about, but I don't know, back rows are kind of weird for me this year. Like, outside of McWright and Kale, it's kind of like, it's kind of hard to really nail in on anyone. But Kale is off this week. I think he's being rested. He is not playing. So yeah, just McWright, who is you know, Mr. Solid so far to lock in this week. I've gone for Sututu and Karefi in my other slots here. Don't really have super strong feelings about them though. I mean, I do kind of like having a piece of the Blues back row in this Moana's matchup, whether it's a 2-2, whether it's Dalton. I kind of prefer Satutu. I think he's got a bit more potential on a good day. With the Karefi pick though, I mean, yeah, I'm just getting sort of more Canes action in that force matchup, which I like, and he should play the full 80 this week as well, so that's one reason I've kind of gone with him. But I mean, yeah, you could change these guys out for any of the other sort of good options. Tupotola, he had that massive game against the Chiefs last week, sort of against the run of play, got 2 tries, but just, you know, was running in the open on multiple occasions. I mean, look, we know this guy is good. He's mostly known sort of for his work rate, right? Just getting through a lot of carries and being a dangerous runner, like close, especially close to the line. He can crash over, but yeah, it's kind of weird how much ball he got this game in the open. Like I feel like that could just be a one-off. I don't expect a result like this to happen again, especially against the Blues, who you know, have quite a stern defense, right? But wouldn't blame people for picking him, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a score sort of more like this, right? 22. So yeah, not an exciting one for me this week. One that I've talked about before, man. I like this guy. He's like a back in the back row, right? Like if he gets the ball in a bit of space, he's got pace, man. He can run away and score tries by himself. And it was awesome last year when he was in the lock slot and was able to turn in some really good scores for that slot. But now he's in the back row, which kind of diminishes his value a little bit, but still a pick with a lot of potential. It's just, yeah, this Brumbies matchup, Brumbies defense quite good. I don't know if he's going to be able to pull that type of run off this week, but he's probably going to be a guy I pick up at some point in the future. Kala Tizano, I mean, he's kind of one of those solid picks, right? Yeah, just a very busy player, has a nose for the try line, gets to sit with the ball at the back of the mauls as well, which gives him exposure to more tries. So definitely a pick I think you can't go wrong with. Even against the Hurricanes, he'll probably do, you know, decently, but very expensive for his price, 8.8 mil. So if he doesn't have like a great sort of 40 plus game, he's probably going to lose you even more money. So that's just something to be aware of. Dalton pick I like I already mentioned. Charlie Gamble, in general, I like Charlie Gamble. Didn't get much going for him last week. Better matchup this week against the Reds. Got 52 against them in round 1. Would be a good pick this week as well, I think. Same with Joe Brow. I mean, he got 46 in that game, and he's a guy that I kind of like his play, but yeah, it doesn't necessarily translate to a lot of fantasy points. Leo Willie, I mean, he had that big game against the Chiefs with 3 tries, but outside of that, hasn't really got a lot going. And yeah, I think it just comes down to sort of the struggles that the Crusaders have, struggling for that consistency. Bellatini is a pick I do like this week. I think, you know, potentially he could go well against the Drua. Drua do tend to give away a lot of penalties, and that means it can give a team like the Brumbies a lot of sort of, you know, 22 entries and just lineouts on that 5 meter, right? We know they love those for mauls, but even if they don't score off the maul, they're in that zone, that red zone where they can roll their sleeves up and bang away with their forwards. They love to do that. They're very good at it. And that's a situation where a guy like Bellatini can get a try and do really well. So I do like the Bellatini pick this week. Another one I like actually is Luke Reimer. Did really well off the bench last week, got a try and 46 points, but only problem is, like, he's getting a start this week, but he's probably gonna Rory Scott's on the bench, so he's gonna get subbed at some point. So yeah, he's just a guy who doesn't get a lot of game time, unfortunately, but at least he's getting a start for once, which is nice. And last one, I mean, Harry Wilson, he was huge last year in fantasy. Hasn't really fired this year, but he's only had 1 starting game, which was last week. 31 points. Didn't really do a lot, but you know, not a bad score either. Still 7.7 million, which is kind of expensive, and he is also getting subbed as well. The Reds are putting a number 8 on the bench who replaced him last week, albeit quite late, I think. And maybe the same thing will happen this week as well. Like, he won't get a full 80, but he still might get 70 or something. So might still be a good pick, but yeah, he's yet to sort of prove that he is back to his form of last year. Then lastly, there is Duplessis Karifi, and pretty much just picking him because I had a can slot available. I do like the matchup against the Force, and he's probably going to get a full 80 this week because Yose is on the bench and will probably replace Shields of Flanders. So yeah, he should be good for a full 80, and that's good enough for me. Now onto the locks. I've gone for Wakaleaweri and Sarah Uru. I like both of these guys, and I feel like I've gone with Wakaleaweri. I mean, he did very good last week, but this week I think he's gonna stay on for the full 80 because Caleb Delaney is getting his first start of the year. So yeah, I feel like Caleb Delaney is going to be the one who gets subbed off in the locking slot, and Wakaleaweri should get a full 80, which is something I look for in my locks because it's, you know, it's not a high scoring position. They get a lot of their points passively just from the line out. So yeah, getting guys who just stay on for longer tend to be the guys who will average a bit higher. But and I've gone with Sarah Uru because, I mean, he's a guy who can actually do something in open play. You see him get the ball sometimes, you know, he might get a bit of a tackle bust, an offload, a bit of a line break, stuff like that. So yeah, that's the only reason I've gone with him. He's kind of a little bit expensive, 5.8, even though his price has been coming down because of coming off the bench. He's getting a start this week though. He might end up being the one who gets subbed instead of Salakai Lotto. Kind of hopefully doesn't, just because Uru has had less game time this year. But yeah, there is a bit of that risk there. And otherwise, you know, you got your other lock options here. I mean, Craig's been solid this year. Berry, he's super solid. Solid this year, solid last year as well. Jeremy Williams had a good round last week. I mean, I don't imagine that's he's not going to replicate it this week, but he was a super solid player last year as well. And one to be aware of, or a couple actually, I mean, Thomas Lavanini, he's getting his first start for the Highlanders. Don't think I'll be picking him against the Crusaders. I mean, you'd be worried this guy's going to get a card, but just one to be aware of. And also Nick Frost is getting his first start as well. Now Nick Frost, he was a super solid pick in the lock position last year for fantasy. He's just so tall, so he gets so much of the line out ball, and yeah, passively builds up those points. So he's probably going to get subbed this week, but you know, he's one to be aware of for the coming weeks because he's probably going to be one to pick up. Now moving on to the hookers, and it's a little bit tricky this week. Chiefs on bye, so we don't have Takiaho as an option. Jack Taylor, he's the next best hooker, but last week, I mean, we saw that abysmal line-out performance against the Force. Their line-out was just getting picked off for pretty much the entirety of the first half. Look at this, -10 line-out errors, which is crazy. And I mean, you got to imagine this was, you know, the number one work on for the pack this week at training, right? So hopefully the same thing won't happen again against the Crusaders. But I mean, the Crusaders, they're another side which, you know, in the past have been able to pick off lineouts quite effectively, though they're having lineout problems of their own, as we saw against the Blues. So yeah, I think Jack Taylor's probably still gonna be a good pick here. As long as his lineout throwing is decent. We know he's good around the park, right? He gets all these sort of turnovers forced every game and makes his tackles, and, you know, potentially could get a try as well. So yeah, I think he still remains a super solid pick. Outside of him, I mean, I've gone for Billy Pollard. Hasn't done a lot this year. Was pretty solid last year, not so much this year. But I was talking about it earlier, right? Like the Drua, they are a team that tends to get penalized a lot. And against a team like the Brumbies, right? Like penalties, they're just gonna, they're gonna take the territory. They're gonna end up with a line out 5 meters from the Drua line. They're gonna set them all like they've done so much in the past. And yeah, if they do that, like Billy Pollard, he's probably gonna come away with at least one try, right? Probably. But as we can see, there hasn't been a lot of that this year, right? He's only got the one try, hasn't been getting good scores. So yeah, there's a bit of risk with this one. So yeah, I wouldn't blame you just for going for someone else. But that is my thinking with going for Pollard. Of course, you got other good options as well. I mean, you got Cody Taylor. He ended up doing pretty well against the Blues. Got a try. Lots of points for lineouts, which is kind of surprising considering how many of them they lost. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of weird to me, to be honest. I don't know how that makes sense. Someone feel free to tell me. But yeah, I still think he could go well against the Highlanders. And I think Kurt Eklund's probably worth a shout as well. Because yeah, I mean, in the past, the Blues have liked them all. Like last year, for example, the year before. And Moana's definitely a team where you can impose yourself in that area of the game. So, and otherwise, he's sort of a decent player around the park as well. So yeah, Kurt Eklund I don't think would necessarily be bad. And De Vries getting a start this week instead of Almoa. I do like that force matchup, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would necessarily bank on De Vries coming away with a big one. Now looking at the props, I've gone for Marcel Renata and Hetet, and turns out they're both the top two average scoring props so far anyway. So kind of makes sense in that respect. But yeah, Renata, I've talked about this guy a lot. Like, he's a super solid prop, man. This player doesn't get talked about a lot. Pretty underrated, but he really shores up the Blues scrum when he's on. He can often score a try when the Blues are rolling their sleeve up on the opposition's goal line, and otherwise makes like decent tackles. So yeah, he's proved to be one of the better props on average, and he was as well last year, to be honest. Probably didn't get noticed because he was injured for probably the first half of the season, but in that back half of the season he was a really consistent scorer in fantasy. And yeah, I mean, he's just been consistent, right? 20 to 29 points every game, and let's hope he can do it again, right? Not much to say about it with props. Other thing you can do with props though is just try and get someone cheap, right? And maybe get a bit of money out of them. These guys that cost 2.5 mil, they only need to score like 15 points and they'll earn you a little bit of money. And this Brumbies versus Drua game, I mean, we know the Drua, they like to throw it around. They can be thrills and spills. That can mean knock-ons. That can mean more scrums. So yeah, going for like a Brumbies and Drua prop might not be a bad idea. We've got this Brumbies guy here getting his first start. He's only 2.5 million. I mean, he could, there's a lot of scrums. He could end up being a guy who does earn you a little bit of money. But otherwise, yeah, you can't really go wrong with any of these guys near the top here. Now for captains, at the moment, I've Beauden Barrett selected. I think Beauden Barrett is just it's going to be your most solid, consistent, good pick for this week. He's not going to have necessarily a ceiling as high as the guys you're picking in your outside backs, but he's going to have a higher floor. So yeah, that can be one thing you can do with your captain, right? Just pick someone who is going to be above average but reliable. But yeah, it kind of depends this week on how you feel about the guys you've picked in your outside backs. Is there someone in your outside backs who you know this week is just gonna go completely gangbusters, like we knew last week with Leroy Carter? And this week, I don't really have one of those guys, right? Like, I've got 3 guys who I think, yeah, they probably are going to do decently and potentially could do really, really well. But, you know, there is a chance that they could kind of flub as well and just get like 30 points, right? So, yeah, it's, I don't have that confidence in my outside backs this week to really, you know, give them the captaincy nod. And I also just feel really, really good about Barrett. So good about Barrett that I just don't feel the need to take the punt on the outside backs that I'm not super confident in, especially because I feel like in this game, Barrett, you know, he got 46 against the Crusaders. Like, the Blues, they're probably going to score tries against Moana's. Bowden's probably going to be involved in a bunch of them. He could well get like 60 points in this game. And if that happened and I got him captain, I'd be pretty stoked with that, to be honest. But yeah, pretty much between your 10 and your outside backs this week, I think. And for the boosters, yeah, really not feeling the boosters this week because I'm actually under budget this week. I'm not stretched for cash, so I don't need to worry about the limitless. And like I just mentioned before, not necessarily super confident in my outside backs picks this week. So yeah, not inclined to use any boosters personally. All right, guys, that'll do it from me. Let me know what your thoughts are this week. If you thought I missed anything in the video, if there's any players I didn't talk about that I need to know about. Otherwise, I hope you have a good rest of your week and enjoy the games on the weekend. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.